I'm Sarah's dad. It's not often you get to talk about your daughter like this, so many new faces, but I want to welcome everybody here tonight. I know there were obstacles getting here, cancellations, but it's so wonderful to meet a new family. And particularly, I want to welcome Carlos and Victoria, Fran's parents. Christine, Sarah's mother. Fran's brothers, multiple brothers, and extended family. I try to get most of her names tonight. Sarah and brother David and Elizabeth, cousins and extended family. A lot of new faces tonight. So I learned a lot yesterday. The dinner yesterday, I heard things I had never heard before, good or bad, but I learned a lot about my daughter. A little late, but better late than never. So since I know Sarah for a long time, I think you should know a little bit how it all started. This won't be long. Sarah, when she was born, she was one of 3 children, but she came later, and the first child was really spoiled, second child not so much. By the time Sarah came along, she was on her own, and on her own she was. If you sit down to a table like this, Sarah did not sit down. That dancing everyone talked about, she was dancing then. The girl never sat down. I said, what's gonna happen to this child? She's always dancing, singing, talking to people at the other table. She was a very unusual child. But this served her well going forward. I'll give you some vignettes about Sarah early in life. She loved music. She decided to learn to play the piano, and she played it well. And I can remember she had one of the very large recitals, and the day before that recital, she fell and broke her wrist. And of course we thought she wouldn't do that. It was canceled. Not Sarah. Sarah, Dad, I'm doing this. She got up and did a recital with a cast on her arm, took a bow like that cast never existed. And I started to learn a little bit about this young girl, her tenacity, her courage in the sign of, with adversity. And this went on in other projects, and it served her well through her childhood. When she was in middle school, she decided she really wanted to be a doctor. I didn't push her to be a doctor. My son's a doctor. I didn't push her. She says, I want to be a doctor and I want to go to boarding school. And she was an excellent student. I said, what did I do wrong here? But she went to boarding school, and I would get notes from the boarding school. She's not the perfect child. She set the record for detentions in that school. But she also was a salutatorian of that school and came back. I wanted her back in Boca Raton in her senior year, and they said, no, she can't go to high school. She has too many credits. She has to go to college. So she went to the community college and then told me she would like to go to University of Miami. They had a good, excellent pre-med program. And all the things she did early in life, they didn't disappear. She got involved in so many projects. She's involved with handicapped kids. She's excellent at sailing, skydiving, you name it, she did it. Rock climbing, bungee jumping, jumping out of airplanes. She put me through a lot, this kid. She really did. I said, so then she says, I want to be a surgeon at Jackson Memorial. I don't know, you probably don't know about this hospital. It's the most brutal hospital in America, to train at Jackson Memorial. And that's where she went. And there she went, and she really excelled. A lot of the faces I met last night, I was so happy to see them. And a lot of these of you I met last night, they were elementary school friends, early friends, junior high friends, camp friends. There were girls I met that went to camp with Sarah, college friends, medical school friends, and now residency friends. And a few of her colleagues and professors were here. As a father and a doctor myself, I was just overwhelmed. But a couple things about Sarah, she just was never satisfied. And not to brag about my daughter, but I'm hosting this event, so I will. But when she won the award as the #1 female resident in the United States in her residency, her papers were first prize. And that volleyball I talked about, she did. I said, what is volleyball to do for her? Well, she was chosen to represent the medical team physician for the American volleyball team in the Olympics. So things she did in the past, they seem to transcend into the future. Just amazing for me to see all these. She was the anti-nerd. She published over 50 papers in residency, yet she had so many friends. And the work she put in research, I saw last night, is the same work she put into her friends. You just don't have this many people come to an event unless you put a lot of work into it. And Fran's the same way, by the way. And also with Sarah, that music has never left. You could see her dancing, singing, Fran dancing, singing. They have this compatibility that's amazing for me. Enough about Sarah. How about Fran? Handsome, sophisticated, tennis player, world traveler, trilingual and intellectual, and now starting a hedge fund. Wait, excuse me. I'm having trouble reading your handwriting. Seriously, Victoria and Carlos, I can't imagine how I feel tonight when I walk down the aisle with Sarah. Had I any reservation about the man she chose, or any reservation how Sarah felt in her heart about Fran, it would be a different event for me. I didn't have that feeling. I am so happy for both of them, the choices they've made. And now, to conclude, I would like to make a toast.